So in this video, I wanted to talk about an assumption that a lot of TIs have about the gang stalking operation. And the assumption is that all gang stalking originates from the exact same source. So what I mean is that everyone believes that gang stalking is part of one vast conspiracy. And we don't have any proof that that is the case. For all we know, gang stalking could be broken up into individual communities. And this is kind of what I want to talk about. So the assumption is that gang stalking comes from one source. Either it's, they say it's, I've heard the theories that it's the Freemasons. I've heard theories that it's the government, even extraterrestrials. And I already covered this one in another video. So, I mean, I've heard all sorts of theories. But in order to simplify these theories, because that's what I want to do, I want to simplify these theories. I don't want to make them overly complicated because, it seems like, the theories that we hear on the internet, are so complicated and elaborate that they're not even really believable anymore. So I think that we should try to simplify this shit as much as we can if we want to come up with like an explanation for it. So my theory is that all gang stalking doesn't come from the exact same source, and that basically individual communities with knowledge of gang stalking participate in gang stalking for their own reasons. Like in this community, they would have their own personal reasons for why they're terrorizing me. In your community, they could have completely different reasons for why they're terrorizing you. So like if you live in a community and the people don't like you for whatever reason, whether it's because they're racist or you pissed them off or whatever, they can gang stalk you. And every single community is responsible for their own gang stalking. Like the communities are not connected. So but there will be like different, gang stalking groups in different areas because the communities have knowledge of the gang stalking. And it's kind of just their way of keeping control of their area, like they're territorial, like an animal. Animals can be territorial, and these people are so retarded that they might as well be animals. So why should we expect them not to act like animals? So animals are territorial, and you could just consider this like a pride of lion. Well, I wouldn't want to call these people lions, more like a pride of cats, a pussy cat or something. I don't know. Anyhow, so the theory is that the community itself dictates who gets stalked and who doesn't get stalked, and it doesn't come from some sort of higher up source. But there's a caveat to that. Okay, the people who are in this community have friends who are powerful, who are high up, which basically, and these people will cover for them. And I mean, we don't really know the politics of it. So but what I'm saying is that different communities could have different motives for why they stalk people, which would explain why different groups of people are being stalked. Okay, like let's assume that you're not a colored person, you're a white person, you live in upstate New York. Well, for all we know, maybe the Illuminati or the Freemasons are responsible for your stalking. If you're a colored person in the South, then the racists are responsible for your stalking. So, or for whatever reason, the community that you lived in has turned on you. That's why I don't really like the gang stalking title. I prefer to use the title community mobbing, because I think that what we're really dealing with is a community mobbing problem. Like the community itself is decided to terrorize you mainly because they're evil as shit. But the point is that they have their own motives for why they're doing it, and it's not coming from a higher up source. But on the other side of the coin, they probably are connected to a higher up source, or at least one or two of them are. I mean, enough where if it really, like, the people of power are going to turn a blind eye to this shit, they're not going to try to do something about it, either because they're being paid off, or they're corrupt, or it's just too much trouble for them to police an entire community of people. It's just like a lot of trouble. They'd have to, how much trouble it would be, like if the feds, if I contacted the feds and they were to try to regulate an entire community of fucking people. You got to look at it from the government's angle. We're talking about an entire community of criminals, not one criminal. You know how complicated that shit would be? Like, even if the government was not involved at all and they knew that what was happening was illegal, how in the fuck can they police an entire community? See, you got to remember that the government is not it's not into policing entire communities. They're into policing individuals. So what would happen in a situation like this is the government really wouldn't know how to force every single one of these psycho sons of bitches to behave. So to them, it would be a lot easier for them to simply ignore it, because there's no way for them to enforce the rules if this many people are breaking the rules. So gang stalking is one of the types of crimes where if it's like too many people for them to police, so this probably makes more sense for them just to turn a blind eye, to tell you that you're on your own and they're not going to do anything about it. So what I'm saying is that if your community had knowledge of gang stalking, they knew that it was a way to terrorize people and they were suffering from an antisocial personality disorder of some sort, then this would be what they would want to use, because they don't have to worry about getting in any trouble for using this. So if they did anything else, they risk going to prison, and they don't want that. So the point is that this gang stalking is a weapon, and people can use this weapon for whatever agendas they want to use it for. So like I said, here, if you live in the South and you're colored, we could pretty much just say that if you're being gang stalked, the people are racist, okay? So some of you will not be black or brown or mixed or mulatto or Spanish or anything like that. And some of you will be white, and you'll be like, well, obviously it's not because of race, because I'm white. Well, for you, the gang stalking in your community probably isn't because of your race. Maybe it's some other reason. But the point is that every community can gang stalk people for whatever reason they want. So there's all this misinformation about gang stalking. We don't know if there's one main group of people that is responsible for all the stalking, or each community stalks people they want to stalk, and they kind of decide for themselves who they want to go after and who they don't. All this is a psyops operation. If we as TIs came together, we could gang stalk them. That wouldn't mean that we were part of the Illuminati, okay? So let's assume that every TI got together and we gang stalked them. Would we be part of some sort of government conspiracy? Would we be part of the Illuminati or the Freemasons? Or would we just be people who decided to gang stalk people? So the point is that I have enough knowledge where I could actually gang stalk people myself. I could do it better than these people are doing it, and I don't have to be a member of the government or a member of the Illuminati to do this shit. So what I'm saying is, this is a weapon that anybody who knows about it or anybody who is familiar with how it works could use. So you could get a group of fucking dope heads together and they could gang stalk. That's not this. So we're automatically assuming that a bunch of deranged weirdos are part of some sort of vast government conspiracy, when in fact these could be a bunch of crazies who learned about gang stalking through some other source and decided they were going to use it against us. That's it. And we don't know what reason the people have. So for me, it seems like the place, like I said, I live in the South, and this is a racist, horrible, hateful shithole. What do you want me to say? That people are racist as shit. So down here, yeah, I'm probably going to just assume they're gang stalking me because they're racist. If you're white and you're on my channel and you know about the stalking, hey, well, here in the South, yeah, we get gang stalked because we're coloreds. Where you're from, those group of people have a different reason for why they're fucking with you. Who knows what the reason is? So, like I said, gang stalking is a weapon that people can use however the fuck they want. It could be multiple groups of people. Every community that has knowledge of gang stalking, who knows about it, who knows how to do it, could use it. And anybody can use it. Anybody, any fucking where could use it. The only thing you need are the people. Once you have the people, you can use it. I could use it. I could do it better than they could do it. We could do it. All of us on my channel could do it. Anybody can use this shit. Anybody. Okay, I could be Chief Handler. Okay, a much better version of Chief Handler because I'm not a fucking idiot. Okay, but the point is that anybody can use this shit. So the point is that out in this shithole, the people are racist as shit, okay? So colored people are being gang stalked. If you're white and you live in a different area, then who fucking knows? Maybe it is the Freemasons in your fucking area. But don't make the assumption that all gang stalking comes from one source. The only thing gang stalkers need are connections, or to pay people off, maybe the local police, or maybe the local police are involved. But that's why I want to use the term community mobbing. Your community is out to get you. That's the only thing you need to know. Let's not come up with all these assumptions that it's all part of some huge, vast government conspiracy, blah, blah, blah. It very well could be. It very well could be. Or it could just be a community mobbing issue in which the community is toxic, hateful, and this is their way of ruining your life without going to prison for that shit. So the people out here in the old days would gang stalk coloreds and lynch them and burn fucking stakes in their fucking crosses in their yard. And these people were not called gang stalkers. They were called a hate group. So here, there's hate. These are hate group people who don't want to fucking go to prison for burning a cross in your yard and get hate crime charges put against them. And this is their way of being able to destroy, color people's lives without worrying about consequences. And you're going to tell me that they didn't, that one day they figure out that they don't have to go to prison and they can destroy your life without going to prison. It seems like that's a lot smarter of a move than what they were doing in the past. Okay, in the past they put the sheets on and they would still terrorize minorities. They'd still murder them. They'd still hang them. They'd still burn their houses down, burn the churches down, and burn fucking crosses in the yard. Except now they can destroy minorities without worrying about any kind of repercussions. Once a hate group learns of gang stalking, it's only a matter of time before they used it. So the bottom line is that in your neck of the woods, maybe you pissed off a Freemason. Who fucking knows? Okay, you're white and you don't know what's going on. Well, every community could have their own reasons for gang stalking, and any community that has knowledge of gang stalking can participate in it. And it's not like they have to be members of some sort of vast X-Files government conspiracy shit, okay? This is just because they're gang stalking doesn't mean this is a fucking X-File, okay? The bottom line is these people are hateful, racist as shit, and they use gang stalking to keep their asses out of jail and to destroy their minority targets, minorities they feel threatened by, okay? Not the crackheads and shit. They don't feel threatened by crackheads, okay? They don't feel threatened by these people because the way they see it, these people aren't going anywhere any fucking how. I'm gonna just tell you how they think. So what I'm saying is that there's a lot of assumptions about gang stalking, and I want to just point out the fact that you guys have assumptions, you don't have facts. With that said, let me go ahead and close.